Else, apologize for this little halo thing. I don't really need my glasses, but reason I came live today on the channel is simply I am trying. Well, I'm going to do an opening. I'm going to do a unboxing today. I got a package in the mail today, which is behind me. How unfortunate and how not ready I am for that. So anyway, so usually when I'm doing my unboxings, I'm showing off some of the new books that I've just picked up or anything like that. Lately, it has been, which has been my focus for the last nearly 2 years now, which is the Valiant Comics line of Nintendo comics from the early 90s. In fact, February 1990 is when that comics line made its debut. So what I have been primarily purchasing is to complete my collection of that, be it raw or graded. Now, honestly, I haven't bought a lot of raw Nintendo comics lately. I just haven't. Not because I haven't been looking, but the prices and the condition matter on these books. And while the books, when they came out, had high print runs, and they did, make no mistake about it, they did not, a lot of them didn't survive. So, and you can clearly see that from the census numbers on the CGC census and even the CBCS census, since that has now been released to for the general public to see. As long as you have that free account, you can check that out at any time. So because of that, that's what is going on with that. So the CGC census shows that there just isn't a lot of high-grade copies of a lot of these books. I mean, it was just recently, as of last 2 weeks, when CGC updated their census, which they do every Tuesday, that the first Nintendo comic book that Valiant published actually crossed 200 total slabs. A single issue finally did that. And that was Super Mario Brothers 1. And then followed very quickly by the direct market edition, the $1.95 cover price version of The Legend of Zelda. So those two have the most graded copies in the census at all. And because of that, that is why you see a lot more of those, especially if you're looking on eBay or anything like that. One thing I've never seen is going to cons very much. I don't see a lot of the Nintendo books at all. I just don't. And I'm up and down Northern California watching, going to shows. So I am either I'm setting up at a show or I'm at the show buying. And again, I don't see those books at all. It's always nice when the seller leaves a little note when you buy it from them. So that's very cool. I will definitely, I do that as well. I leave little notes in there and thank them for their purchase, and also ask them, if it wouldn't be too much to simply make me a favorite seller of theirs, because I'm adding new books. In fact, in my eBay store, I've added 300 new books in the last 2 months. So it's grown from just under 1,200 items to now over 1,500 items in just a very short time. Doing just spending a lot more time getting things done, and this is what I want to do. I mean, this is what I want to do full time. So is sell comics. So here's the book that I just picked up. I do not own this book at all graded. By the way, these are crap. I don't like them. I don't use them. I fold them up and throw them away. I do like they do make them in nice ones. I buy them in like a 20 pack or something on eBay from a a couple of sellers. So when this popped up for a good price, I said, yes, I want to get it. I've been buying the newsstand versions, which a lot of people call second printings. They're listed wrong on eBay most of the time because most eBay sellers just don't know. There's not a lot of information out there. I'm trying to change that, but it's a slow process. And this is the Legend of Zelda issue 4, the newsstand one. And you can tell, again, by the newsstand, you know it's a newsstand. One, by the cover price. The cover price on the newsstand versions of these Nintendo books are $1.50. That is the cover price. The direct market editions would have the glossy covers, the cardstock covers, which are very difficult to press out, by the way. Those are the $1.95 cover price versions. And those are the ones you see mostly that have... those are the ones you see graded most than these. These are regular newsprint covers. They're just regular cards, not cardstock at all. So they're tougher to get in high grade. So when this came on eBay the other day, a couple weeks back at a 9.6, I wanted it. I wanted it bad, so I picked it up. So this is one of those that I did not own. I believe this is in graded. I have a couple raws of this, but not graded, and especially not high grade. So I think this is my 23rd Nintendo graded book out of the 55 that there are that were printed. Not counting the trades, not counting the collected editions that are out there with it. And I know you can grade the soft cover ones. You can't grade the hardcover ones, but so there's 55 books. And I think this one is number 23 for me in my collection. For that, I'm very happy with that. And it does say on the label. It says on the label right there, second print. So I have sent messages to some people that are selling these on raw ones on eBay and letting them know, those aren't first print, because they put first print right on the listing, right on the title, and it's not. It's a second print. Those came out a year later. So I wanted to also show some of the other Nintendo books that are in my collection that are graded. Some of the very cool ones that I'm super happy with. I just did an unboxing of this bad boy. This is Super Mario Brother issue 4. No, issue 3. And it's a 9.6. This is an upgrade from a 9.4 that I had in my collection. So happy about that book. This one I'm probably most thrilled with in my collection, honestly. So Captain N only went to issue 5. Okay, there is an issue 6 if you look into the Overstreet price guide. If you go to several other places that list a 6, it was never printed. Okay, it was never done. It was never came out. So it doesn't exist. The Captain N books are all $1.95 direct market editions, and this is the only 9.8 in the census. There's been 5 books that have been graded, and this is the only 9.8. So it's 9.8, and then it goes 9.4. So there's not even a 9.6. So this is the top dog, and I was super thrilled to add this to my collection. But like I said, this is the only 9.8 in the census I've ever been graded. That book. So see another one that I recently got. So this is very cool because I'm gonna show you the big difference. Show you the big difference between the direct market edition and the newsstand edition of a specific one. This is the Legend of Zelda 3. This is a 9.8 of the direct market edition. So you can see the cover price is $1.95, which shows that right here. And the reason I'm showing you that is here is the 9.8 of the newsstand. So the UPC is on the right side, as you can see, and then the left side on the newsstand. And they also did change the color here. The color is a yellow, which matches more of the top here, the logo itself. But and then the bottom of the direct market has it white. So there's subtle differences, but not tremendous. The biggest difference is the Legend of Zelda 3 Newsstand Edition, which is right here, is much tougher to get in high grade than the Direct Market Edition. And that's just the case with all of them that I have found. It's just one of those things that it is. Speaking of that Captain N number 5, this is another one I recently added, which is Captain N number 5, but it's a signature series one. It's the only signature series. So there's 5 graded comics, right? In the census of Captain N5, I own 2. So technically, I could say that I own 40% of all the graded copies of Captain N5, and it's staying in my collection. Jim Shooter, signature. This was signed actually this year in June. So when this came to market, I was like, gotta get that. So love showing that one. That one's a very cool book. Here is another beautiful book. It's another newsstand, Adventures of the Super Mario Brothers. This is a 9.6, yes, and it's issue 6. The great thing is this is the highest. This is the highest grade of this book. There's no 9.8 of this book. That's how difficult some of these newsstands for the Nintendo books are to find, especially raw. You're just it's very difficult. Trust me. I have looked. I have bought. I have tried. These are much easier to press out, obviously, and clean, but they're still very difficult. So this 9.6 is the only 9.6 in the census. This is the highest grade of it. There might be 2 of them, but that is the highest grade of that book. There's another signature series that I picked up recently, Game Boy. It is an 8.0, but it's also the only signature series in the whole in the census for that book. I don't own another Game Boy one, but again, we got a Jim Shooter signature right there. And when this came out, I was like, came onto the market, I was like, yeah, I want that. So that's a nice book to add to the collection as well. You know, it wasn't just Nintendo that Valiant produced in that early period. There was also WWF comics, which are not in comic book size. So keep that in mind. There's not comic book size versions of the WWF comics. There are some digests size, like the Acclaim illustrated versions, if you're familiar with that size. Acclaim also later on in their history got the license to do the classic illustrated line, which is adaptions from books. I mean, it's been done for forever by different companies throughout the years and throughout the history of comics. And so when they got it, they kind of perfected that size. It was a digest style size of a book, and those Nintendo had those also, but the WWF books kind of came out first, and they also came out in magazine size. There's a great Undertaker one of the Nintendo. He's got a shovel in his hand. He's the Undertaker. So there's that one, and then there's the Bushwhackers have a cover. There's the Ultimate Warrior, of course. So there's quite a few very cool pieces that are difficult to find in the wild and are even rare in graded copies. That's for dang sure. You just don't see them. They also came out with, well, this. Something like this. Now, there's a version of this in different language also. This is a Cheezosaurus Rex. So this was for craft. This was to promote their cheese and macaroni character of Cheezosaurus Rex. So because of that, they produced this comic book. This is the artwork on this is definitely Bob Layton. You can definitely tell this is Bob Layton work. I don't know if it's just inked by him or penciled by him, but it is Bob Layton. And his fingerprints are all over this thing. This came out in 92. There's no number or anything like that, and there's not a lot of these even in the census at all. But when this came, and this is an old label too, so when this came available, I got it a long time ago. But happy to add that to the collection as well. So just a little taste, a little taste of some of the Nintendo stuff. That I had been picking up. And when we're talking about the digest size, this is what I mean. So it fits in a bag and board, yes, from side to side, but the top is obviously much shorter than your average comic book, and as you can tell, it was kind of made to sit on a shelf because it has the label on the side and everything like that. Same thing with the Super Mario Special Power, this one as well. There are a few of these graded, but the market really hasn't dictated price very much for these. One, they're hard to get in high grade because the binding is very easy at that time to when you're opening and closing it shows those wrinkles in the spine. And kids tended to read these Mario digest books, even the floppy books, out. I mean, they worked on it like crazy. So because of that, these are just tough to find in high grade for sure. So I've got like a lot, and I mean a lot of these in some of these books are just hard to find. I mean, you've got, this is the final issue of Adventures of Super Mario Brothers #9. So the original art to this is actually on eBay, and the seller wants $25,000 for it. It's painted. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's not 25,000 gorgeous, but it's gorgeous. And this book is just tough to find in high grade. There was a 9.8 that came up on the market not that long ago, and it jumped out of my price range. So I said nope. But I did settle and get a 9.2. So there's only, I think, 5 or 6 copies of this book, even in the census. So it is it's a tough book to find, period. But if you can find it, and honestly, I might have a higher grade copy, even raw here, than that 9.2. Maybe not. It's very easy. They're so hard to find in high grade. So would love to know in the comments if you guys have any questions about the Nintendo comics line that Valiant produced in the early 90s, because that's my jam. I've done so much research on that stuff. You know, there's a lot of misinformation out there. I look every day on eBay, and I chronicleize all the sales that are graded and put that in a database that I'm going to release and share soon. So if you are interested in that, leave a comment below, and you can get on that list to get that. It's kind of a checklist. And what I've done is I put every book with a picture of the cover. So if you're out in the wild and you're like, which is this? Just a quick reference. You can have it as like a Google Doc on your phone, and it'll also give you the information on when it was published and how many graded copies there are in the census, either CBCS or CGC, the last recorded sale of any one of those in the census. I have that all on there, and I update it daily. But it's something, if you're interested in, leave a comment below. Please like, subscribe. I'm doing a lot more videos like this, so and doing a lot more just here on my YouTube channel, especially with the Nintendo books. Every time I get a new graded book or something like that, I'll be more than happy to share that information and go forward with it. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there for it, and there's no reason that there has to be. We just have to educate and get that out there. And I should have a new article come into Shortbox this coming week. I turned it in late last week. Those guys were, of course, at Emerald City Comic Con, ECCC, over the weekend. Hopefully that was a great show. It's getting close to Christmas, so we should be seeing that hit the app. That article hit the app fairly soon. So check it out. Like it if you can, and let me know what you think of that too. And we'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you guys very much. I'm still on. How do I get out of here?